Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming over to this very nice bar, and welcome to B2B Talks 10. Yes, we've just looked at our logs, and we've done the first B2B fair in something like 3 years ago, right? Something like that. Today, we're going to talk about account-based marketing. But before we go into that topic, how many people here are in a B2B Talks event for the first time? Okay, a lot of new audience. Good. So a couple of points regarding the rules of engagement. There are no rules of engagement besides the following. You have here 2 cameras, okay? So please do not touch them because you invest a lot in putting them in the right place. The discussion itself is a discussion. So you are more than welcome to ask questions, torture the panelists specifically with very specific questions, and be engaged as much as possible. The goal of this event is for all of us to learn from each other, and as well to get some insights about the things that are happening in the field. Last but not least, if you are on social media, and hopefully some of you are, feel free to take pictures, tag them with hashtag B2B Talks and hashtag ABM. Okay? Cool. So, I will start by presenting distinguished panelists that we have this evening that were willing to get free beer in return to sharing their experience in one of the hottest topics in B2B marketing today, that hopefully by the end of this event we'll figure out if does it really exist or it's just a FUD. Mike Telem, Marketo. Rafi Kretchmer from Panaya. And Dana Poleg from Kaltura. And if you don't know, my name is Kfir Pravda. I'm from Pravda Media Group. All of the people here on the panel are practicing or have practiced in the past account-based marketing in its purest level and have tons of information to share. So before we go too deep, I would like to, first of all, ask you to present your organization and to tell a bit about what is account-based marketing in your view.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Kfir, for inviting. And it's really a privilege to be here with 2 of who I consider some of the best marketing people I've ever worked with, Dana and Mike. So my name is Rafi. I lead marketing for Panaya. Panaya is a mid-sized company operating in Israel, a subsidiary of Infosys, mainly focusing on test management and application lifecycle management solutions for the enterprise market, with a unique, I would say, sales model that combines direct sales approach or field sales approach together with a very massive inside sales operation, which means from a marketing perspective, we're operating a hybrid model of both demand generation activities for the inside sales and account-based marketing for the field sales. From our perspective, I would say that account-based marketing is a strategic approach that combines sales and marketing together to provide personalized activities to specific accounts to deepen engagement in those accounts. So I think if I summarize it, it's strategic, it's personalized, and it aligns marketing and sales. So this is account-based marketing in Panaya.
Hey, I'm Dana. I'm head of marketing for Kaltura. Kaltura is the video company. We sell video solutions for any use case. We sell to all the Ivy League universities video solutions for remote learning, for flipped classroom, for video assignments, for example. We sell to most of the Fortune 500 companies video solutions for training, for employee engagement, like the intranet where you can upload videos or share videos, webcasting solutions, video communication solutions. And we also sell to media companies, OTT, over-the-top TV solutions, like Vodafone, for example, are using Kaltura to broadcast their content, to create their own TV channels to their customers. We are a company of about 450 employees, headquarters here in Israel, offices all over the world. sales team of about 80 people, marketing team of about 12, team of 12. Account-based marketing to me is creating the perfect alignment between marketing and sales. In the old school, marketing used to sell to leads, and salespeople used to go after accounts. In the new era, account-based marketing, we're all going after the same people. We're all targeting the same accounts, creating this perfect alignment across the board, across everything that we do in marketing.
Hi everyone, my name is Mike Telem. I'm VP Product Marketing at Marketo, and I'm the GM of the Israeli Development Center. Marketo, for those of you who don't know, is one of the leading marketing platforms today in the world, which offers many capabilities around digital marketing. Even though Marketo does offer an ABM product, I'm not here to talk about that. But to talk about my experiences in the startup that I founded 7 or 8 years ago, where we actually leveraged account-based marketing before it was actually called that, or before people knew too much about it. A lot of it was strategy and tactics, not necessarily a specific tool. But it was at least one of the reasons that we ended up being acquired by Marketo. So I'll be happy to share more about that and how it helped us as a small company. So ABM is not just for big companies. It actually, in my opinion, has even more impact for a small company.
Okay, I have to admit that this is what I understood from the way that all of you described account-based marketing. It's something that sales and marketing do together. It's really, really cool, and small guys can do it as well. Did I get it right? Okay, so let's do a bit of a small organization can do it as well. Exactly. So let's talk a bit more about the details, okay? Because I can think about other activities that sales and marketing are doing together. Sales enablement, regional marketing is still marketing, field marketing is still marketing, and they're working tightly together with sales. So honestly, what's the big deal? What's the big story and the hype around account-based marketing in this time?
So I'll start with a short answer. Salespeople have always, in B2Bs obviously, salespeople have always been about accounts. They wake up in the morning, they think about their accounts, their Excel file or CRM report has accounts. When their boss asks them what's going on, they're talking about accounts. Marketing people and marketing technology has been for the last, 10 years, mainly about leads and people, which is not a bad thing. But we haven't been speaking the same language, which is one of the reasons why we haven't been speaking too much with sales. People sometimes ask me if ABM is a revolution. I don't think so. I think it's just an evolution. In the last 10 years, with companies like Marketo and Eloqua and Pardot and Acton and all of those, marketing people have learned the craft of digital marketing. We then learned the craft of digital marketing at scale. And then we even got better at analytics. And this obviously took some time, like 7-8 years. As we've gotten good at analytics, we saw that some of the things that we're generating with digital marketing are not so relevant because it's not the right accounts, which is why salespeople are basically saying, yeah, thanks a lot for those 1,500 leads. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. And technology advanced enough to enable marketers to start looking more specifically. So mastering digital marketing, getting analytics better, seeing that not everything is relevant, and having the ability to focus on what is relevant is what brought us this evolution of account-based marketing.
I totally agree. We're supposed to fight, right? Or
No, that's-
is that okay? That's later?
That's the next question. That's okay.
So I totally agree, and I'll even give an example. We're in Kaltura. Marketing is a part of the sales process. I carry a quota. The marketing team is carrying a sales quota. I'm supposed to bring in 50% of the company booking. So through all the marketing activities that we're doing, through events, through digital, through webinars, through email blasts, through hosted events, through everything, all the mix, at the end of the day, I'm supposed to bring in leads that are qualified enough, that are good enough to be translated into actual deals. We managed to create this level of trust between marketing and sales that if I bring them a lead, a QBM, an MQL, they trust that it's good enough for them to follow up on. And because I'm measured on that, I mean, this is how I'm being compensated, I am more driven to create those quality links, to go after those specific accounts, to go after those specific companies, to go after the people that my sales team is going after. So I think creating this perfect alignment, creating those shared goals and shared targets is key. Practically, some of the account-based activities that we are doing, step one is we have a list of target accounts. Every rep have a list of 20 accounts that they're supposed to go after. And I am, as a marketeer, marketing to those accounts. Second, we're working with Lean Data, which is, I believe is a competitor to you, to align leads with accounts. So in my database, I know which leads are part of what account, so I can create account-specific campaigns. And this allows me to create account-specific campaigns. So we do email-specific to specific companies, we do LinkedIn campaign to specific companies, etc. But at the end of the day, I think it's about creating this alignment, and it's all start by having the same goals for the marketing and the sales team.
I will look at it a little bit differently from the organizational perspective. I think, at least based on my experience in some of the largest companies here in Israel, in many cases, the marketing problem is that it is being perceived as a tactical department within the organization that is completely disconnected from the business goals of the organization. In many cases, it is treated as a liability, that department that we invest a lot of money in to throw in a good party, to do the sales kickoff and the annual user event, and that's it. I think that account-based marketing, not necessarily to the tactical activities that we are all applying, but as a mindset, is trying to change it and change the marketing perception within the organization. And this is going top-down, meaning applying an account-based marketing strategy means that the overall marketing plan, activity, campaigns, programs are derived from the organization's business strategy. And everything that we do must be aligned to the sales strategy. So if, for example, we decide that next year the company's goal is to penetrate into new markets, let's say in Latin America, or to generate more revenue from a specific vertical that we haven't been doing business with in any other region, this is where marketing should focus. So I think the alignment of sales and marketing is the key issue here in the context of deriving the marketing plans, objectives, and activities from the organization's business goals and the sales business objectives.
I have to admit that I thought that I'm not confused when I got to this panel, but things just got downhill right, from the first answer, okay?
As if you didn't know.
Okay, so let's try to reorganize the whole thing, okay? Because you are saying a lot of things that for me sound just like marketing, right? If I want to do an upsell or a cross-sell, I have my CRM, I have my salespeople, they know who are the relevant accounts to upsell to, they have their quota, they're under a lot of pressure to fill their quota, and then marketing will do this in Marketo, this cool folder with global resources of here's the email you should send, and this is the landing page, and blah, 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 blah. What's the difference between that happened way before the hashtag ABM was invented to pure account-based marketing? What's the real difference between that and what we've done up until 2 years ago?
I'll take it. So to me, and I've done some thinking before this panel about what account-based marketing means to me. Account-based marketing is not a methodology. To me, it's a mindset. It's an approach. It's about creating this perfect alignment between sales and marketing across the board, across all the functions in marketing. It means that we as marketing are involved in sales processes in whatever we do, whether it's product marketing that is creating account-specific content or sales tool for the sales team to compete when they're going after a specific account, whether I'm creating content So I'm creating content that goes after specific industries or specific accounts. Whether I'm building campaigns, so I can build campaigns with this list of my target accounts in mind, because I know that most of them are insurance, for example, or most of them are big companies in the automotive in EMEA. So I'm tailoring my campaigns to that. I see that my team is being pulled very often to participate in sales processes, whether it's in RFPs on how we position ourselves in the best possible way against competition, whether it's product marketing that is being pulled into the sales processes to give additional depth, whether it's the people who create content who is being pulled to create tailored content to specific accounts or specific industries. So bottom line, I think it's a mindset. And I think this is something that should be implemented across the entire marketing team. It's not just the one function that does specific campaigns.
Okay. I'll try to address this differently. I think that sometimes what's confusing is it's confusion between strategy and tactics. So the marketing tactics are the marketing tactics. We run events for both account-based marketing activities and, let's say, demand generation activities. We do webinars for both. We generate content for both. We do social promotion for both. We do, for both account-based marketing activities as well as general demand generation marketing activities. So the tactics are usually the same. The thing is that there are some strategic differences that are critical in the planning and the execution. I'll give you one example. First is that when we talk about account-based marketing and we focus, let's say, on strategic accounts, we need to realize that the customer learning is happening all the time. Whereas in demand generation, let's say we promote something through social, people fill in a form, join the webinar. Let's say within the scoring mechanism, this person becomes an MQL. We push it to sales, say buy and go, and bring the second MQL. So we stop our engagement with sales at the MQL level. Whereas in account-based marketing, since the sales process is usually longer, the buying audience within the customer is different, the sales process is different, we need to accompany sales throughout the sales cycle. This means that we need to educate sales beyond the face-to-face meeting, beyond the lead generation aspect of that account, and then engage in more specific activities. So yes, we can invite them to a webinar, which will be a tailored webinar. They will fill in a form. We will send them a thank you email. But then, let's say 2 weeks later, we'll take those 5 accounts that we're interested in, and we'll do something specific for them. So it's more of a strategy thing and planning of the marketing activities rather than the specific tactics. The tactics would be, in most cases, the same.
Just one short comment. So per your question, the question was, so what's new about this ABM thing? Because we've been doing it before. What's the, focusing on accounts. So first of all, I think it's a false statement. People have not been doing it, partially because they couldn't, and partially because they just did not. And like I said, in the last 8 years, there was this whole thing about inbound marketing and digital marketing. And the concept was just throwing a very wide net, and the right people will come in, hopefully. So maybe we should have been doing, and I agree, account-based marketing conceptually is like, what, have you been targeting the wrong accounts until now? Like, what's, you might tell this to the CEO, and he'll be like, so what are you telling me? What have you been targeting so far? So part of it was mindset, that the marketer's mindset was just generating leads, and that's the coin that he was measured on, he or she. So they generated leads. And then the whole process of not all the leads are good, so you start MQLs and SQLs and all of that, and sometimes you just figure out, hey, they're just not from the right companies. Secondly, some of the technology was lacking. You couldn't target specific accounts on the web. You couldn't target specific accounts in advertising. And all of the marketing automation solutions, including Marketo, didn't even have an account entity. You couldn't even get a report about how your accounts are doing, only how your leads are doing, and you had to use some custom fields like that to get an idea of accounts. So it's a combination of, sorry, we actually were not doing it, And we had one good reason: some of the technology was not ready for it. In the past 2 years, we have matured and we're trying to do it, and we have more and more technology. Some of it around web and ads has been available for actually 4 or 5 years, that we can actually target very specific accounts, which is also bringing back to life a lot of the old school techniques, by the way. So going back to those high value executive breakfasts, because now I can offer them on the website just to her and him. I can do that today because they belong to these target accounts, and not everybody will see it. So, hey, I can do that. And we're going back to mail, like real mail, the nice type that you get something nice in mail and not all the emails we get. So it's bringing back a lot of the old school techniques because now we can have them a lot, they can be a lot more targeted.
So just
add one more
yeah.
thing. This is a very good point. I think that another way to look at it that will maybe dissolve this confusion is, let's say that we're trying to target the pharmaceutical vertical in Europe, okay? There are, let's say, 1,000 companies in this segment, right? So we can look at ABM as a tiered way of doing marketing. So ABM is not one size fits all. So there's the overall account-based marketing for the pharmaceutical market that targets 1,000 potential customers. There are certain tactics that fit that. Then you can narrow that and say, I'm going to focus mainly on those pharmaceutical companies with revenues beyond $2 billion annually. So you reduce that from thousands to hundreds. Then you work based on your business strategy and the sales strategy and say, out of those, there are those 5, which are our key strategic accounts. If we win those this year, we are like rocking. So let's say we'll focus on Bayer and Novartis and Teva, all right? And for those 3, we will apply different tactics. So we will invite for a basketball game the guys from Novartis, and we will take for a nice dinner the guys from Teva. And for the rest, we'll do a general webinar which is targeted to the pharmaceutical industry with the right content and the right case studies and the right examples and so on and so forth. All of this tiered approach is also account-based marketing. So it's not, there's no one size fits all there as well.
We started just 1 second. We started practicing the same thing, account-based marketing as well. And the things that we've seen internally, we're a smaller company, but the things we've seen is the following. First of all, we stopped looking at leads. So usually when we've done a campaign or a program, we used to look at how many leads did we get, what were the titles, and so on. And now we don't care about it. We're saying, here are all the companies that are attending an activity or an event, stuff like that we're doing. Which one of them are a key account or important account? Now let's see how many people from that specific account actually registered. Are they a part of the decision-making committee that needs to make a decision about buying our services, or we're partners of Marketo, buying a technology and so on? That's one thing, okay? The other thing we've seen is that in change of mindset is trying to engage with the whole decision-making committee in the account. So if before that we were always hunting for the decision maker, in our case talking with the VP of marketing and so on, now we're saying, okay, so if I want to sell to these, 100 companies that are in my database, then let's figure out who are all the influencers, and then specifically do programs to get all of them in the database and engage with all of them and have tons of coffee with all of them in order to really figure out how to go in. Which is something, it's borderline marketing and sales in the process. I started my career in sales in telco. So this is what we were doing in sales. We went into a company, and the first thing I was saying to an account, to a person I've met, draw me a map on how does your organization work and who is responsible on the budget and so on, okay? So we're just duplicating the same way of thinking into the marketing process, into earlier stages of the funnel. What I really like about account-based marketing, though I have to admit, is it demystifies the whole inbound going to be awesome thing, right? I mean, in the last several years, inbound was the big thing. We're going to create tons of content. We'll put it in social. Things will be awesome. People will come with an open paycheck, right? And account-based marketing is just exactly the opposite. Inbound is a part of the mix. Inbound is something that I need to monitor. Inbound is something that I measure and so on. However, I'm not looking into the top of the funnel as the key thing. I'm looking at how do I reach the target accounts. Some of them will be in specific areas. Some of them, the same buying committee, some of them will be in an awareness stage or an inbound stage. Some of them will be ones that we're actually talking with the right person in my organization.
You can also draw the
True.
right people to the
True.
right content.
Yeah, you still want to use inbound marketing.
True.
I think one of the mistakes, by the way, because everybody's up to the hypes. So now what I see in the US, for instance, everybody's on that corner of, we're doing ABM, inbound marketing is nothing, content doesn't matter, blah, blah,
It
blah.
has to be a part of the mix. That's true.
It's just that when you do inbound marketing, instead of measuring how many visitors I had to my website or how many leads, you want to see how many visitors from these
Specific
accounts.
Exactly.
And if this piece of content that I put on LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever drove 100 clicks, and this one drove 10, it doesn't matter. Question is how many target accounts it drove. And that's the slight change in mindset.